How's it going, everybody?
Good to see you. Hello. I'm so glad to be here.
Awesome to be here with everybody again.
Hey, you know what? We sent, I don't know if you had a chance to check out that picture yet, Chad, but we sent a picture home, and to some of you to actually play a little I Spy game. We sent a picture that had 7 items in it that may help us review what we've talked about over these last few weeks. But we've actually, if you didn't get the picture, no worries, because we're going to give you a second. So we've also added a few more. So there might be some more in the picture. So we are going to give you a moment to see the whole set, and you can see if you can find 10 items. And be thinking, what do they actually might mean from our talks, okay?
Right.
So we're going to give you some space.
Good luck.
All right. How did you guys do?
Get a chance to find them? How many do you guys find?
Hey, wait, how did you know where so many were? Did somebody give you some clues?
Little
Miss
secret
Kim,
helper,
all
yeah.
right, thank
Nice,
you,
Miss
Miss
Kim.
Kim. I
Nice.
love that.
Nice.
Okay, well, let's see if you found them all. Ready? You want to go first?
Let's check them out. I was going to say, for me, the first thing that jumped out was that ukulele. Those of you maybe didn't see it in the corner down here, but I remember when we talked about this, the importance of finding activities that we enjoy, that bring us calm and rest, and inviting Jesus into those activities to have time with him. So,
That's right.
little reminder there.
Yeah,
But
I do. I love that. That's great. Well, you know what? What about, did you guys see it was, actually, I thought this was kind of a tricky one.
Ooh.
The palm tree. Did that stand out as one to, as part of the 10? You know why? Because remember, Jesus entered on Palm Sunday into Jerusalem, and what did they shout for Jesus when he came through? Hosanna. Exactly. Great job, you guys.
Nice. And then another one of those fun experiments we did at the beginning, that hopper right under the agape sign was a reminder for a lot of the unexpected things that happen during Holy Week leading up to Easter. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And then I think you talked about something that happened on
Maundy, Thursday, during that same Holy Week. Exactly right. We talked about how Jesus and the disciples, one of their last meals together, which we now celebrate as communion, where Jesus broke bread and shared drinks with the disciples to remind them that the sacrifice and how much he loves them, and that he's always with them. And we do that to remember. Yeah.
That's great. And then, did you guys... The cross, that's right. As a reminder that Jesus did die on the cross. But that is not the end of the story, is it? Not on the cross alone. Yeah.
Exactly right. And another one of the stories we talked about was the road to Emmaus, where there was the 2 travelers walking, and a man approached them, started talking with them too, and they found out eventually it was Jesus. Well, I don't know if you saw behind the anchor here, we have a little road printed out to represent that road to Emmaus. The road to Emmaus. Yeah.
Nice job.
Excuse me.
You know what else I almost missed? Look. Shout out. Look at our big... Now this, there was a big stone that was in front of the tomb, but this is a smaller kind of stone here. But remember, it was rolled away. That signified that Jesus was not in the tomb anymore.
That's right. And then last week when we had all those different lights up, one of the ways we represented the light was with the egg, and how the egg represented that empty tomb, and also had a little light in there to remind us the significance that lights play in what we talked about as well.
That's right. And something very, very spiritual before we talk about Jesus being the light of the world. Very spiritual. Did you find it? It was probably one of the hardest to find. Skittles! Do you remember in the egg where we shook the egg? Yep, you got it, you guys. Skittles. I think that's 10, especially if we add the lights up here, you guys. And what we talked about was how in the book of John, in the 1st chapter, John says Jesus is the light of the world, and that his light shines in the darkness, which means, and the darkness will never overcome it. So that was a wonderful promise to remind us that Jesus, is the light. Well, I just want to make sure you guys know that John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels, John was one of Jesus' disciples. And he traveled with Jesus. He saw his miracles. He heard all the messages that Jesus shared. And he was there when Jesus died. And he was there when the tomb was empty. And remember, Jesus appeared to his disciples after he had risen. And John was one of them. So all that we're learning in John, he's an eyewitness. You know, John wrote 3 letters after. He wrote 3 letters to a church. And it said, one of the verses, that's one of my favorite verses, is see what love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called the children of God. Now, and that's in 1 John and chapter 3. And, you know, I have to say, one of the hard things about the word love is you can say, I love pizza, and you can say, I love my mom. So it's kind of hard, the word love. But in this verse, we're talking about agape love. Agape love. And it is a love, and we kind of put it up here. It is a love that is unlimited. I mean, you can't even fathom. It is unconditional. It is unimaginable. So that's just kind of hard to get our minds around. And then in that same verse, he uses the word lavished. Lavish. I don't really use that word a lot, but do you know what lavished means? We kind of put it up. I'm not sure if you can kind of see it, but lavish. Plentiful, generous, over the top, super abundant. Not just abundant, but super abundant. That his love for us. And you know, trying to think of a way, kind of fun, you know, Miss Rosine, you know, we got to figure out a way to see if we can help a visual on that. And actually, my friend, we can learn a lot from our friends.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, one of my friends, Shailene Camry Hoggett, shout out, did this, and it was really helpful. I know I just stepped out for just a moment, but she did this, and I just loved it because I've never done it exactly like this. I got this because it was kind of the biggest. I like to have whipped cream with my hot chocolate, so I tried to find the biggest thing.
That would be an awesome cup of hot chocolate.
I don't, it probably is too big. Like, I don't even know if it's going to fill it up, but I thought, we'll help. And let's go ahead and start filling it and see if we can kind of fathom God's love for us. Oh, look at that. Wow. Well, wow. It's like mountains of love. It's abundant. Like when we look at some of those words, generous, abundant, plentiful. His love. Wow, look at that.
It's still going.
It's still going. What? Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh my goodness, there. Oh no, it's starting to overflow. Oh no, Chad, it's starting to overflow. Look at that. I had no idea it was going to overflow. I didn't even think these would fill it up. I love that, because you know what it reminds me? That if we had every whipped cream can in the whole world, billions and billions, and we tried and it wouldn't even be a drop of God's love for us. It is so big, we can't even fully comprehend it, which is so cool. I know, and who would have thought that it would have overflowed? I love that. Well, you know, be thinking of that, you guys, as Chad shares with you a story from John chapter 21.
And very quickly before I do, as we were filling that, it definitely made me think about dessert rotation and how I am very excited to be able to put this on your Sundays and everything like that. I mean, this hot chocolate cup is kind of like 40, 50 Sundays, it feels like we're so just very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, we've been talking about the different times that Jesus has encountered the disciples after he rose from the dead. And in John 21, it shares another of those stories. And it's one of the last stories of that. And it's about a group of the disciples. There were 7 of them. And they were fishing on a boat. And they were fishing all night. And fishing back then was no easy task. They had these giant nets. And you'd have to throw it over the side of the boat and kind of let it sink down, hoping fish would come swim. And then you'd have to, and it'd take more than one person to pull the net all the way back up to see what you caught. Well, they did this all night. Throw the net over, yank it up. Throw that. They didn't catch a single fish. Not one fish. You can imagine spending hours and hours and hours. So then the morning came, and those disciples, they saw a man standing on the shore. And they didn't recognize who it was. Well, Jesus says, they didn't know it was Jesus, but he says, hey, friends, did you catch any fish? And they respond, no. Well, Jesus says again, well, hey, try throwing your net on the other side of the boat. So they gave it a shot, and they threw it on the other side of the boat. And almost immediately, the entire net was full of fish, to the brim. It was so full, they couldn't even pull it back onto the boat. It was too heavy. So then, in that moment, one of the disciples, John, who Mr. Zing was talking about, recognized it was Jesus on the shore. And he exclaimed, it is the Lord! And when he said that, Peter heard it and recognized him too, and immediately jumped out of the boat and started swimming towards Jesus, swimming towards the shore. All the other disciples, well, they had a giant net of fish, so they got in a smaller boat and kind of had to drag their big old net all the way to the shore. There's about 20 fish in here, so you can imagine hundreds of fish, where Jesus was waiting for them, and he had prepared a fire with fish and bread for them. And he said, come eat breakfast with me. Right? He had prepared food for them. He said, hey, let's add some of the fish you brought. Come and eat with me. And I just love that image and that idea of being able to sit down and share a meal with Jesus. Like, how cool would that be? To laugh, talk, smile, just to hang with Jesus. And it's a cool reminder that we can. Now, we might not be able to eat the fish that Jesus has made for us right there, but whether you're eating pancakes, cereal, leftover pizza, whatever it is, inviting Jesus into our breakfast time, or how we start the day, and all of our meals, and all the time in between, but just, hey God, this is what's on my mind. Or, hey God, I'm struggling with this, or I'm super excited about this, or this is not my favorite kind of cereal, or whatever it is, but inviting, I think Jesus wants nothing more than to spend time with us. Get to know us, and that's one of my favorite parts of that story.
I love that. Thank you, Chad. Because and there's Jesus was talking to his disciples when they were having breakfast. Oh, yeah. So this is what some of the conversation was. He said, when he talks to Peter, I'm sure the other disciples were participating as well, but he says, Peter, do you love me? And Peter says, yes, Lord, I do. Jesus asks again, do you love me? And again, Peter says, yes, I do. They do it 3 times where Jesus says, do you love me? And Peter says yes. And I can imagine the other disciples say yes as well. And you know what Jesus said? He said, well, feed my sheep. After each one of those questions, first he said, feed my lambs. And then he said, after the second, do you love me? Then he said, take care of my sheep. And then feed my sheep. You're kind of wondering, you think sheep and lambs? Well, Jesus called himself a good shepherd. And so you can imagine that the sheep, that's all of us, and the lambs, that we are called to invite one another into learning more about God's love, into sharing God's love, into, I would say, caring for one another. It says to go out and see where we can share that love with each other, help others learn about God's unbelievable love for us, because we are his children. Remember the second part of that verse? It said, we are the children of God. And that's not just children as in children, like Pathfinder. I mean, that is adults. That is all of us. We are a family. We are a community and a family. And in this world that is loved by God.
Right.
Isn't that cool?
It's absolutely amazing. And it makes me think, too, of that when we filled up the hot chocolate, almost there.
Good.
Just about. Okay.
Oh, good.
And yeah, when we filled it up, just that idea of being overflowing with God's love. And I don't know if you guys agree, but sometimes in life it can feel like maybe our cup isn't overflowing, or it can be, we go through hard times. And I think it's one of the coolest things, like Mr. Rosine was talking about, sharing our journeys and encouraging one another, is that, look at, it kind of overflowed. Well, when we're in community with people, that maybe our cup feels a little empty, or maybe some of the overflow from our friends and family, we're all part of that family, all children of God, can help kind of fill our cup. And other times, maybe my cup's feeling overflowing, and I can kind of help some other people whose cups feel a little bit lower, but that idea of we're not supposed to do it alone. And it's too much to contain for just us. Like, we got to share it. We want to go spread it, right? It's not meant to be just kept in here. God wants us to spread it. He wants us to feel that, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this. There's too much going on. I got to spread it. So that's one of my favorite parts about this. And just like Ms. Rosine said, just that idea that we're all children of God. I'm a child of God, Ms. Rosine's a child of God, Ms. Kim, however old you are, we can all spread God's love, share God's love, encourage each other. It's not, and there's no requirements, no age thing, just going out and, just loving each other. Yeah.
And that starts with God. And it starts with Him pouring His love into us, lavishing His love. Did you know that God calls us His beloved children? And how can we not get excited and say, we want to invite others into knowing about God's love, which is cool. That it's not on our own effort. Because sometimes it can be kind of exhausting, like you were saying, and it doesn't feel, especially in times like this where things are changing, it's a little bit different all the time. But you know what, remember what we talked about? We have it up here as one of the I spy. But God never changes. His love never changes. His presence with us never changes. And by the way, the book of John, you can read more. There's a lot of stories we can't cover in this little bit of time. But in the book of John, you can go through and read it. There are amazing stories and miracles. You're like, oh, I remember Miss Rosine talked about that. Or I remember we learned about that at Pathfinders. Because a lot of what we have talked about has been from the book of John. Some from the book of Matthew, some from the book of Luke, some love the book of Mark. So just encourage you, if you want to read John, get started. And it'll actually start with the birth of Jesus. So we've talked about that as well. So know that we love you, but God's love is bigger than we can even comprehend, and it is unconditional, unlimited, unimaginable. And you know what kind of love that is? Agape love. So, Miss Kim, will you come in? We want to just remind you that we love you guys, and this is yes, we love you so much. We do miss you, and we are praying for you, and we're going to pray right now. God, thank you so much that you are here with us. God, that you love us so much, and it's not based on what we do or how we perform, but Lord, it's just because you created us. And God, you want to be in a relationship with us forever. And we have that now because of what has happened with you coming to earth and dying on a cross and rising again, the forgiveness of all sin, and we can be in an eternal relationship with you. So God, thank you for that. And it's not based on what we do, but because of your love for us. We love you too, God, and thank you so much for your faithfulness. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, you guys, see you next week.
See you next week.